Hi everyone, welcome to my channel taslimamayaart. It's really lovely to have you here. Please do check out my other video tutorials, and if you like what you see, hit the like, share, subscribe and comment buttons. Since I'm not monetized yet, all the support that you give me really does help. So welcome aboard my friends to the Fluid Art Express. I'm really pleased to have something completely new for you today, something I've not really tried before, so it's a very first for me. I'm doing a layered split cup straight pour on a 30cm round canvas for you. So let's get started. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a completely first for me, which is a split cup layered straight pour. Okay, so I've got a split cup here which I bought off Amazon. It's got 5 compartments. I've never ever used one of these before. I've had it here for about 6 months, probably longer really, along with a couple of other split cups of different compartments. As you can see, there's a 3-1 and a 2-1 and a couple of others. And what I'm hoping to do today is do this on a round canvas, and these are the colours I'm going to be using. I'll put the colours into the description box below for you so you know what brands and what ratios I used. My pouring medium was just PVA glue with water, and I did a very quick drip test. Now ignore the yellow one because I put too much of the yellow blob on there, so they're all pretty much the same consistency, and I'll just show you what that is. Okay, so they're relatively runny. Okay, very easy to tilt and spin, and I'm hoping they're not too thin. Like I said, I've not done this pour before, this style of pour or technique, so it's completely a first for me. I've got some colours here, black and white as well. I think that was a Montmartre white, and that was an Amsterdam black. I think that was lamp black, but I'm not sure. I'll check and I'll pop it down in the description box for you, and all these other colours as well, a mixture of Pebeo and other brands. Okay, so let's get started.
The next morning when the sun goes up, it might be the last day of you and me. You're lying next to me with heavy eyes, while I shiver inside with a heavy heart. I know what I've done, and I'm too afraid to let it go. If I could, I would turn back time. If I could, I would take it all back. If I could, I would bring back all the memories, not yours, only in my dreams. Oh, if I could. I caught the sails loose. You're lying next to me with heavy eyes, while I shiver inside with a heavy heart. I know what I've done, and time is running out for me. If I could, I would turn back time. If I could, I would take it all back. If I could,
stumbling out of bed, and I still got you in my head. From all those pretty words you said, it's like I'm wasted. Every time I see your face, I'm losing track of time and space. I don't know where I am, it's like I'm wasted, and I won't waste it. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste this. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah. Could you come a little closer now? 'Cause I don't wanna slow this down. My heart is screaming out your name. I'm wasted on you. Here we are, right underneath the stars. So let's get a little reckless. You make me breathless, and I won't waste this. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste this. I'll follow you, yeah. Yeah, I won't waste this. 'Cause no one makes me feel like you do. You make me reckless. Yeah, no one makes me feel like you do. I promise that I will stand by you forever, and I won't waste this. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah. Yeah, I won't waste this.
Spin me around and around, turn me upside down. Spin me around and around, let me feel. Spin me again and again, till I'm upside down. Calling again and again, my name. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Tell me I'm the only one. I've been lost and found. I've been on the ground. I've been hiding out while shouting out. You would open up. Oh, spin me around and around, turn me upside down. Spin me around and around, let me feel. Spin me again and again, till I'm upside down. Calling again and again, my name. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Tell me I'm the only one. I've been in the cold. I've been digging gold. I've been crying out.
Here I am gradually turning my turntable, on top of which my Arteza canvas is, and while I'm turning it, I'm simply pouring out my paint from my split cup, and I'm doing this very, very slowly, right in the center. And obviously I haven't got the knack of this yet because it's the first time I've ever tried it, but it was quite interesting. I think I was spinning the wrong way to begin with because it was quite hard to control spinning it that way, but I would obviously, here I just turn it the other way around, which is much easier. But it's quite hard to gauge how much you need to spin, and also hard to keep your hand with the cup right in the middle. So I started mixing it up now. I got bored of the circular pattern that was coming out and started to kind of wiggle my hand a bit and be a bit more haphazard with how I'm pouring. And I had a completely different look, you know, in terms of the patterns that were coming out now, which you'll see in a minute. So this was really a very nice experiment, my first go, and also, you know, something to see what happens really, you know, and try it out. And I did learn a lot from this. I learned that my paints were too thin to begin with, which is why quite a lot of blending happened with this piece. Regardless of that, it is still a very beautiful piece. You'll see at the end, it's quite unusual actually, not like anything I've ever seen anywhere on any other video by anyone, so it was quite interesting. You will see the outcome in a while. I'm now gradually tilting my canvas, and before I do that, I put some more paint around the edges to allow it to flow, and I noticed that some nice patterns come out actually around the edges. Now, the reason I think the pour itself looked so dark despite all the vibrant colours was because I had a lot of black in there and some dark, obviously the violet as well, and there were some dark colours in there, and I think I put a bit too much black in, to be honest, in one of the compartments. And if you notice the way I layered my compartments, I tried to put the lighter colours to the one side and the darker colours to the other, in a gradual way, but when I poured it out, I found that the brighter colours ended up on the edge of the canvas rather than anywhere near the centre. There were obviously some brighter colours in the centre there, as you can see, but it was quite unusual how it came out, and I think that's partly to do with the way that I layered. And again, I did say that this was an experimental piece where I'm just learning how the paint works and how the split cup works, and you know, the different ways of layering and the effects that you're going to get as well. So it was quite nice, kind of a learning opportunity for me. Now what you just see me doing here is actually what's known as a ribbon pour. I've never done one of those either, but I thought, well, why not? You know, those kind of rings around the edges there didn't really look that interesting to me, so I thought I'd just mix it up and do some ribbons on top of it. I didn't do any in the center part, but yeah, it was just a spontaneous thought to do that, really. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
That's quite nerve-wracking, actually.
Now here comes the scary part. Well, it's scary for me sometimes because I tend to distort the pattern, and I do want to distort the pattern to an extent, so I'm going to slowly tilt to the one edge of the canvas, and there is a lot of paint on my canvas at this stage, and I'm going to tilt some of that off, but surprisingly I didn't really have too much coming off the canvas, and I obviously saved that came off to use as a flow extender on another painting. So here I am. Apologies for the glare and the reflection of the ring light there, but I'm just tilting to one edge and then the opposite edge and then back to the center, so I do not distort the pattern too much. And isn't it looking a bit like an eye? It's a strange, interesting pattern there. But I'm going to just try and tilt it back to the middle again, and then go to the other two edges across the left and the right. So prepare to get very messy when you do this type of thing. I did end up putting some gloves on to make it easier, but yeah, you will have a lot of paint come off. And again, it's really good to save that paint because you can use it rather than throw anything away. So I've got my gloves on and now I'm tilting this in real time just so you can see how slow or fast I'm doing it. And I'm trying to take real care with it now so I get it the way I want it to look. And I do love those lines along the edge, and I do keep them to an extent. I do end up pouring that turquoise and red of the lower edge off, simply to get enough paint off the canvas so that it doesn't crack or graze while it's drying. And I'm just tilting down to the bottom half of it now. And I really like the center of it. It's really unusual. I'll do a flyover or a close-up later for you to see all the patterns that are in the center there. We've got all those lovely kind of rings across the edges as well. And you can see quite a lot of the colors. They are slightly muted, but you can still see them. And I'll, as I said, show you them once we've tilted this one out. So now I'm going to speed up the tilting for you. This is 12 times the speed, just so you know. And simply because I don't want you sitting here watching me tilt forever, obviously. So I am happy with it as it looks now. I like the lines that I can see. I like the center. I love all the different patterns. And I'm just touching up the edge there for the spots that are still exposed on the canvas. I'm very lightly torching it now to get rid of any air bubbles that might pop up. And now I'm going to take you down for a little flyover to have a close-up look at the patterns on this one. What do you think? It's really interesting. It's not what I was going for, if I'm honest. I did hope to get some fingerlings and other things, but I realised that I used paints that were slightly more watery than they should have been for this technique. I guess you need a thicker consistency, one that's more like for ring pours, I suppose. I should have thought of that. But yeah, I think I'm going to try this technique again. But looking at this piece, it is still really, really pretty. Look at all the colours and look at the patterns. I do love it. I think this will make a beautiful background for an embellishment in the future. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this piece. Do leave me a comment down below to tell me what you think. And also, if you've got any suggestions for an embellishment, do let me know. I'm always open to ideas and inspiration from you guys. And I'm really grateful that you're joining me on my artistic journey, learning about all the different techniques within fluid art, and also finding out some of the tips and tricks along the way, and also sometimes failing or not getting what we want, but really looking at the positives of that as a learning journey. And here are some stills of the wet result and some close-ups. And that's one thing about fluid art, it's completely and utterly unpredictable. So look at this beautiful piece that's come out. It's totally different to what I had imagined it would be, but I still really love it. I do hope you like it too. I will probably do something on top of it in the way of embellishment, so watch this space. And thank you again for joining me on the Fluid Art Express and staying with me in the live. And up next is Venom Fluid Art, but we also have our wonderful guest today, and that's the lovely Lucia Rossi, Art and Design. So do hit subscribe on her channel. See you all at Venoms.